Welcome to a special episode of the WrestleMania weekend with Heel Heat. It's just us tonight, as our friend Wrestling with Honey is actually in Philly this whole weekend. She's there for was that WWE World tonight?
Mm-hmm. Catching some indie shows, doing some podcasts, just being the megastar that we know that she is.
Yeah, so she's over there doing that. Catch her because she's going to be with who's she gonna be with one of the female wrestling shows, I think she said.
Women's Wrestling World or something like that. They're supposed to be going live or doing a WrestleMania watch along or something along those lines. Just look out for whatever she posts. I know they're doing something. I just can't remember right now exactly what it is. It's late. We're doing this under the gun right before the big weekend. As per usual with this podcast, of course.
Yeah.
It may not come at the most opportune times, but we get it in before we need to get it in. And that's what matters.
Headphones aren't working like this should be, so I won't wear them. There's no point. I don't know what's going on. But all right, so let's start off with Stand and Deliver. This should be interesting.
Because we have a long wrestling weekend. Yeah. Nothing but glorious wrestling for, what is it, 12, 13 hours, I believe? Something like that.
Saturday. And it starts at 7 o'clock?
Well, WrestleMania starts at 7 o'clock. Stand and Deliver, I believe, starts at 12 in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's right.
So we're really starting off maybe 11 if they do a pre-show, all the way till probably. So we're doing probably 12-hour Saturday on top of SmackDown, on top of the Hall of Fame.
Oh, I think SmackDown pre-recorded.
Yeah,
there's
probably. I don't know. It could be in Philly, so who knows. It is the go home show, so who knows?
Yeah. So let's start off with Stand and Deliver, Gacy and Spears.
This one, it's a weird one because I feel like instead of it, as most things are around the season, like being a conclusion, I think it's the start of something. And with Gacy taking all of these losses, it almost feels like Spears really can't afford to take a loss yet. Even though I feel like he's had one, it just hasn't been a major one.
And this one's a weird one because Gacy just came off of that feud with Dijak.
Yeah, so this one is a very strange one, which is why I say I think it's the start of something. I don't think it's the end of something. Yeah. That being said, I think they're going to give the nod to Spears just because, again, they want to give him as much momentum as possible, and I think that they're building Gacy to be this weirdo loser so that when he finally emerges and you push him, he'll have this mega character arc.
Yeah, and he's got some fan support. So he's got some fans behind. I like Gacy's crazy ass. And I like it. So it's one of those where they're trying to build him up more with the audience and the fan base. And I get it. So it's a simple C. And hopefully he gets the most out of this what they're building for him. Because he's doing great character work on this one.
Yeah, he's probably now one of the better character workers in the WWE right now.
Mm-hmm. Got the 6-woman tag match. This one is going to be crazy.
It is. I almost I get why they're doing it, but I almost wanted the blow off match to be Thea versus JC. But at the same time, I think that they're building that maybe that big match is probably for the summer. Yeah. And this is one of those where you're gonna, build Fallon as a legitimate threat. You're going to build some of the new girls. You're going to give Kalani James some momentum, and you're actually going to solidify Thea as like a real threat again.
Mm-hmm.
And two, I think a lot of the women in this match are probably your like circling your main event of the women scene after the other match tonight, with like your Cora Jade not being available, a lot of people just coming back from injury. So, I think that being said, I think Team Thea has to kind of win this match because you need Thea to get her redemption and her blow off. And JC Jane just stood tall on NXT, so like we know what that means.
I agree. I'm like, you want Thea and her team to have this win. It's a nice story to go with. Plus, you can't have this feud going too long either.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I agree. I think Thea's going to win this one over JC.
And I think it's going to be Thea getting a pin over JC.
I don't think it'll be on JC. I'll probably say on Kiana.
I think the beef is Fallon and Kiana, and I think that's the match that they're building toward. So it's almost like I need it's almost like they need Thea to get the cover over JC just so that we know that that's the end of that feud. If it is indeed the end of that feud, if it's not, then book it differently. But
yeah, I don't think it's the end. That's why I'm saying I don't think she covers JC just to continue that feud going. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think the blow off is the 1-on-1 over like at SummerSlam weekend.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So we both agree on this one. It's just the
who gets the pinfall, who doesn't. You know.
Yeah. Next we got tag team match.
This one sucks because I thought that they would do something more with this, especially with like all the athletes that they have. Mm-hmm. But I almost kind of feel like you almost need Corbin and Braun to lose this match so that you can fully move Braun up to the main event scene. Like you have to do that. And I feel bad because it's like Corbin, dude, is that the point where like now you insert Corbin back into the NXT title scene? Like you gotta give him something. Like, don't you? Like, what's the point of all this work if you're not going to give him anything?
Yeah, and that's the thing that sucks because he finally wins a title. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He finally wins a title, and he's doing pretty good character work. Some of their joking stuff is pretty funny between them. You know, yeah. I like it. But again, it's Braun has to lose this. They have to lose so Braun can go full time to the main roster. Yeah. Especially after WrestleMania weekend. Like, you know how it is. You have your new guys come up, and appear, hey, I'm here full time now.
So, and you don't want like you already started building Braun as like this crazy athlete superstar. Mm-hmm. You don't want him pigeonholed in the tag team title scene. Right. The only way that I think that it makes sense to bring them up is if what I think happens actually does happen at WrestleMania. But that's for later.
That's for I agree. And I think Corbin might take the pin on this one. Just to keep Braun strong.
Yes. And I think it's going to be one of those situations where Braun accidentally spears Corbin kind of situation. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like that mini blow off of like, okay, they're not a team anymore.
Right.
In order for them to drop the titles. This is just an interesting team for them to do it with. It's like, oh, okay, this is...
Yeah, of all the teams that was in there, this is not the one I was expecting.
This was not the one I'd pick to do it.
The only thing I could see is we get swerved and they get taken out before the match, and then they have a team replacement. And it's like, oh, we weren't prepared, but we're fighting champions, we'll do it, and then they lose.
I mean, again, there's not really anybody that comes to mind for me that will replace them. That's the problem, is that there's not anyone to replace them. Unless you're thinking of Motor City Machine Guns.
Mm-mm.
Who?
what's it called? Over the mud.
Oh, out the mud.
Out the mud. Over the mud. Out the mud.
That would be a very interesting way to like flip the titles onto them, even though I still don't think that they're ready for that.
I don't think they're ready either, but that's like if you look at the tag teams that are there, it's like who's the one team that can physically stand with them toe to toe and probably even surpass them as a tag team, not individually, but as a tag team.
I feel like too is it's kind of the old like you put the titles on a new team and you build the new team by still building the division. Because like in order for them to get better, they have to defend those titles.
Right.
So they would have to constantly be working in order to make sure that they had those titles. Kind of what they did with Roxanne when they first hotshot the title onto her.
Yeah, that's because I mean they got to lose it, but to lose it to Nathan Frazier and Action, it's like Ricochet and
Braun.
I don't know who else you could say beat AOP. Like so we're both in agreement. They're gonna lose it, but we're not sure how to these two. But I think Out the Mud might be the answer. Taking these two out and replacing them. That's something.
It makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, women's title match. Ooh, snap.
What's crazy to me is that like this is usually one of those where I'm like, no, you flipped the title. But it's hard for me to say that because I don't think Lyra Valkyria is ready for the main roster.
No.
But there's also the flip side to me of like, is she ready for the main roster? No. But does Raw need talent badly? Yes. The problem is that they've not done well with booking foreign women. And her gimmick is she's still getting better on the mic. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
The thing that gets me is that like if Roxanne loses, what do you do with Roxanne?
Oh, she's here.
Hey,
what's up, Dale? What's up? What's going on, fellas?
Not much.
You tell me.
I know.
I'm the one at home.
Me too.
You tell me what's going on.
You tell us what's going on.
A lot is going on, y'all. A lot. It's just gonna be a great time. I'm in I'm in Philly for those who are watching. I'm here for the festivities.
I mean, you in wrestling town right now, WrestleMania town.
Yeah, it's just wrestling town, period, dude. Like the festivities I came from today was absolutely insane, and it's only the beginning, and I can't wait. I'm excited. There's a lot I want to tell y'all, but I got to keep it hush hush for a little bit.
See, that's what we need. We need inside scoops. We need people. We need boots on the ground. We need boots on the ground.
I will say this, though. And Tatanka is staying at my hotel. I met him in the lobby. I like spoke to him for a couple of minutes. Really cool dude.
We'd love to see that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's awesome. Like just to know exactly, just to get a fill in on exactly like who is around, and lots of people are around. Yeah, man. I'm ready for shenanigans.
Lyra.
Okay. Did you guys put your picks in yet?
Yeah, we picked Spears over Gacy. We agreed on that one. We said Thea Fallon and her team is going to win.
Okay.
We just disagreed on who's getting pinned. Jay said that Thea's going to pin JC. I said that Thea's going to pin who did I say? Kiana?
Kiana.
Yeah, Kiana, right? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say Gacy for mine. A quick pick. Um, I also think, what was the other one you said? Um,
Kiana,
is
Thea
Kiana
Fallon.
and
Fallon
okay.
versus Team Kiana.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think something happens with Thea again to the point where I don't know. I feel like they're not gonna win that one for some reason.
I
I
thought so
can't
too,
really
but I was just like,
I,
you gotta get a good story there.
I can't really put my finger on it, but I think I think it would be interesting if she lost. So I'm just gonna pick them losing.
Hmm.
I don't know about the pin or who what, but I think Thea would could take the pin if she does get pinned.
Yeah. In the men's tag team, we said Corbin and Braun's got to lose because Braun's got to go to SmackDown. But then I threw this serve
Yep.
out there that Axiom and Nathan Frazier look the ones to do it. I picked them, but don't be surprised if like swerve happens and they get taken out and out the mud comes out of nowhere.
True. Maybe that won't happen till after they win, if they win. I'm
Mhm.
not really sure about that one. I'm gonna stay.
That's a
I'm
weird
I'm
one.
gonna
That's
I'm gonna keep that as a draw for me. Like I'm not.
a
I
no
don't know for me
contest.
personally. Like yeah, no contest for me. I'm not. I don't know. I mean, it does make sense for them to lose the titles, but it has to be in a certain way. So, and as far as this one goes, I have to say that Miss Roxanne Perez has really convinced me in the last week that she is she's going for that spot and to be that girl and win the title she never lost. And I think she's in the right. So I'm gonna go with Roxanne.
And that's the thing is that I don't even think that like the heel work is really heel work. I just feel like yeah, she's telling the truth though. Like y'all stripped her
Yeah,
and we don't even know why y'all stripped her.
exactly.
And then y'all forced her to compete in a ladder match and was like,
Hmm.
hey, go up against someone 2 times your size and climb a ladder. Good
Yeah.
job. And it's like, wait, hold on, time out. Wait a minute. That's
I'm
just
really
rude.
what I'm really surprised about this Stand and Deliver is that the lack of stipulations. There's really not a
Yeah.
lot of stipulations going on. I really would have liked to have seen a stipulation for this match in particular,
Mm-hmm.
um, just to showcase more of Lyra and Roxanne's in ring work and how they go toe to toe. Not saying that they both can't because we both know that they're more than capable. But I just think that just to add a little bit of a stipulation would be a little bit more fuel to the fire and just bring ante up the match a little bit. But
I
yeah,
absolutely agree. And it gives you an
Roxanne.
out. It gives you an out
Mm-hmm.
for whatever result you have. My
Yep.
biggest thing is, as much as I agree with you, and I do think Roxanne is the clear choice, my only caveat is like, okay, so what do you do with Lyra?
Well,
Because,
Lyra has Tatum Paxley up her tush.
I mean, sure, you could do that, but my biggest thing is with Lyra is that, like, you shot her up to the top of the card so quickly,
Mm-hmm.
and justifiably so, she can wrestle, but she also kind of had the Becky Lynch thing going on early on where she struggled with promos, and I
And the
don't think
identity.
yeah, and I don't think the package is quite there yet for you to move her up. So it's like, do
Mm-hmm.
you keep the title on her and keep refining that? But if you do that with Cora Jade now out, who's next? Like, do you
Right.
now wait and like, is it a Kiana James? Is it a JCJ? You know, is
If
it one of those guys?
right, if they book this match correctly, which I hope Shawn Michaels would, um, I would think that Lyra needs to drop the title in order to give herself an edge, because we've never really seen we've seen hungry Lyra Valkyria when she went after Becky, but we've never seen a vengeful Lyra Valkyria,
That's
and like
true.
angry, and I feel like if she loses the belt, it'll give her an edge, and it'll have a reason for her to be a little bit more feisty and to fight harder.
I
Because
agree.
she can come off kind of like the not really happy go lucky, but like I
She,
worked hard to be here, I'm blessed to be here, and this that, you know what I mean, like it's just a lot of that, and I'm just like, no, I need some viciousness, especially with the way her gimmick is. It screams, um like with her like her feathers and everything like that. It's very dark and mystique,
mm-hmm.
so
She's a
I feel like
Valkyrie.
it. right. I feel like giving her a loss and giving her a loss would be something that gives her a little bit more grit, as the kids say.
Not to mention, now that you mention it, you almost need
Mhm.
Roxanne to win because you really don't have any established baby faces in the
No,
division right now.
right,
So you need
exactly.
her to build the baby faces in the division first.
Yeah, because if it wasn't for Cora Jade's injury, she would be the biggest baby face right now.
She
But
would, and what
after
I've heard,
because and after Cora Jade being out, pretty much they kind of like took a little bit of that Cora Jade attitude and just sprinkled it on her a little bit.
and I think a lot of that happened was because she was supposed to team with Cora Jade
Yes,
going forward. That was supposed to be the plan, is that they were supposed to get then, which I think probably would have had them win the tag titles at this pay-per-view.
right, right, right,
But
right.
with the injury, they had to kind of pivot, which is probably why the women's tag titles aren't being defended at WrestleMania.
Hmm. Yeah, I
But yeah,
feel
no, I
like my only gripe with this match is that it probably needs a stipulation or a ladder match or something
right,
or a
right,
false count anywhere or I quit, something really insane, especially because Roxanne completely brutalized her arm the way she did.
right.
I kind of want to see. I hope this match brings all of that out again and then some.
I agree. With that, I'm definitely gonna go with Roxanne because the more I think about
Hmm.
it, the more it makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same
And
thing because I was like, it's like in the interview with the in the locker room she had with this girl is like I felt something was off. Like she was calling it to something is off with Lyra. So I was like, I don't think she's gonna come out of this one. Now it's a question of like does Roxanne beat her down where she's gonna take some time off
hmm.
screen, and then come back hungry like you're saying,
Hmm.
or is she just gonna beat her? She's got to figure things out real quick.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I can't wait to see the match though. I
me
can't. It
neither.
should be a good one. It's gonna be a lot of emotions on this one, like anger. Because
Hmm.
Roxanne threw some stuff out there. I was like, damn.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, and her arsenal is definitely upgraded since she came back.
And
Mm-hmm.
plus,
So
the
I give it
best
to
part
her.
is she's wrestling someone her size. So it's
Hmm.
not so it's and someone who actually has wrestling experience, so they can do things to each other that they can't do with other opponents. Which I'm like, thank you.
Right.
Neat.
It makes it an easy toe to toe.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Next one. Oh,
I've had so many feelings about this match.
I
I'm
still
so
I
confused. I'm so
I'm
there's
confused.
there's there's no confusion for me. There's zero.
there's no confusion for me either, but I do have a concern.
I do too. I 100%.
Where and when the hell did Tony D have all the pull to be able to call the shots the way he's been calling them?
Listen, the man said it when he's like, listen, I've been laying low. I've been dealing with other things, but let's stop acting like Tony D wasn't a part of the big three. Okay. Tony D, as much as I hate and I will forever hate NXT 2.0 and the absolute cluster colorful vomit bomb that it was. What I will say is that they clearly had a big three, and that was
Mm,
Mello, Braun, and Tony D. Two of
huh.
those guys have been at the top of the card and have been the guy. You got to give Tony D
Mm,
his due because he went to the mid card. He built other people. He took losses. He's done the vignettes. He's made other people look fantastic this whole time
mm,
while letting Braun and Mello shine.
right.
You got to give Tony D his due.
No, and I do. I just wonder where this is going, especially with the way the last couple of weeks have been. Like
Mm-hmm.
this has been like the most unique build up for this match because they haven't really fought or laid hands on each other yet at
Yeah,
all. It's just been
yeah.
basic mind games and backstory promos and him getting kidnapped and
Mm-hmm.
left at the highway and all this stuff.
Well,
So
I
it's
think
interesting.
I think that was more so that you can give Dragunov character. It was that whole thing was strictly because, again, you don't need ring work with these two. We know that they can go. We know that both of them can go.
Right.
We know that. What you needed was Dragunov was very, very Lyra Valkyria in a lot of ways. Like, we know you're a great champion. You're this, you're that. But what is it about you that makes me care about you being a champion? He showed more of his personality. The thing with Mello and Trick showed more of his personality, more of who he is. It's more of like, listen, I'm just about this championship, big dog. Like, I wear my suits, my family's back home. I'm feeding my family. That's it.
Yeah.
So it's like it gave him more space to do more character work. And I think in doing that, you've kind of established him as like the guy can talk. I didn't know he could talk this well, but he can talk. He has different dimensions and different layers to him. Like he has the look of a champion and then he has the look of a warrior. So it's like, and from what I'm hearing, the company views him similarly to how they did Gunther coming out or Walter at the time. And for me, it's like, it's set up so perfectly. It is so perfectly and pristinely set up that I'm like, just don't screw it up.
With that being said, I'm just gonna go Ilya Dragunov.
Wow. You had me going. You had me going.
I did. I'm sorry.
I'll give it to you. You had me going. The disrespect is crazy.
Nah, man. It's not that I don't, and it's not because I'm trying to knock off Tony D'Angelo and underplay him or anything like that. I'm just a very bigger fan of Dragunov than I am of D'Angelo. I'm not sure where they're getting at with this match, but I guess when this match comes, I'll find out, But for now, I'm going to still stick with my guns, and my guns say the Mad Dragon.
I'm going to go with the Don, just because I feel like the Mad Dragon has bigger beasts to slay.
Oh, yes, he does.
And this is my thing with NXT that I feel like they're doing too much of. Like Mello and Braun should have been gone. They're keeping they doing the same thing they did with Gargano and Ciampa, where they're keeping them around a little bit too long. And I don't like it.
It's like we already expect them to move on up. So it's like, when is it going to happen? Just pull the trigger.
And again, if you look at where the situation is on the main roster, there's a certain guy who's beating everybody else.
Yeah, Jay, I know where you're getting at. I know where you're getting at.
There's also a guy that has his number.
Mm-hmm.
It is the only person to dethrone the general.
How long have we been saying that, Jay? Because you and I have been agreeing on that point for a minute. We've been saying this for like almost a year now.
And it's got to happen. It's got to happen. It has to happen. I don't even need them to fight Monday. No. I don't want them to touch each other Monday.
I just want him to show up.
Yep, I just want him to show up.
Off.
That's all I want. That's it. I just want that. I don't need nothing else.
I feel you on that.
But for that to happen, to me anyway, for that to happen, you have to drop the title. You have to let him move on from the title.
Yeah.
You have to.
Fact. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. Total agreement. Because this is the best person for the Dragunov to drop the title to, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion. Like, you want Tony D, like you said, Jay. He paid his dues. You know what I'm saying? He paid his dues. He did his thing. Reward the man for what he's done for the company so far. Give him a good title run. And he's going to have opposition to go against.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And just let Dragunov go up and try and slay that beast in SummerSlam or Clash at the Castle.
Nah, it's got to be better. It actually might have to be Clash at the Castle because it has to be before Bash of Berlin. It has to be before Berlin, but that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, I think we're on agreement. Except for Russell Honey, she thinks she's going to retain. But all right, what's next?
Oh, you already know.
Event time.
We already know what it is. You already know. Y'all already know.
It's clear and obvious. It's again like the last match. Some people have just stayed in NXT too long, but this one makes sense because I know they weren't going to let him leave NXT without this storyline paying off. And there's only one way in the WWE to go. Like, there's a way to pass the torch. There's just a way to do it, and everyone knows the way to do it. And I feel like Melo's gonna make Trick look like a star. So yeah, I'm taking Trick on this one.
It has to be. I'm not even gonna give an explanation. Whoop that Trick.
I mean,
And that's the pick.
we know what's gonna happen because Melo's going up to the main roster. There's no point in him winning. I mean, but I'll just say this: don't be surprised if Melo does win it and they leave this simmering. So when Trick comes back up to the roster, it's still there. You know what I'm saying? That would be crazy.
100% crazy. Because here's the thing: if they would have done that, they would have did it with Ciampa and Gargano, and they didn't.
Yeah.
You can't leave stuff like that lingering, just because then you have to essentially start Trick from zero. Like, this is what's supposed to solidify Trick as a main event player in NXT.
And I think this is also a good opportunity for Trick to win, have one up on Melo, and when Melo goes to the main roster, he comes with a chip on his shoulder.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we will relive this rivalry again on a grander stage bigger than NXT Stand and Deliver, even though these two are already making history as the first two black men to main event NXT, which I think is something that should not go unnoticed.
I didn't even notice it until you said it. That says a lot. You're absolutely right. There's been a severe lack of main event representation since the Kofi situation. And all I've heard is the lack of quote unquote star power. These two are oozing with star power. Both guys are over. Both guys get reactions. I mean, you look at the pop that Melo got on the main roster and the call for Trick. Yes. Trick wasn't even on the show. That whole week when Melo was up there, you heard the whoop that Trick chants.
Oh, yeah. From people, the minute that bass hit, Royal everybody Rumble, knew what time it was.
The Royal Rumble, people were pissed Trick wasn't in the Royal Rumble.
I was.
Like, universally upset.
Mm-hmm.
Even though that Royal Rumble was to help build Melo, everyone was like, all right, but what about Trick?
Mm-hmm.
That's how you know you have a megastar in the making.
The one thing that Shawn Michaels did not fuck up on was the fact that he took two guys. One was already a star, and technically one was like, the sidekick, but he developed him into a star as well. So that kudos to Shawn Michaels for having that gift of being able to create two big superstars out of one team.
It's crazy how
it's really done.
He keeps creating his own career arc over and over and over again in different generations. It's wild that this is literally just the Shawn Michaels Marty Jannetty breakup again.
Or even Triple H and Shawn Michaels, because remember when Shawn got jumped and Triple H faked like he didn't know who it was. As soon as that happened to Trick, I was like, I know I've seen this before, and I already know what's gonna happen. So when Melo came out and Melo was doing it, I was like, I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it to happen. But they did a really good job keeping us on that little cliff for a little bit, and then there was the perfect moment to strike on the last PLE, and it's worked like a charm. So we already know these two are going to put on a banger. This match has no title. This match has no stipulations. This is just straight up beef, blood feud, brotherhood, and betrayal. And I'm so here for it. But that being said, I do got to jump off real quick because I got to get things ready for tomorrow and prep and everything. I'll fill you guys in on the chat. I'll let you guys know what's going on. But I just wanted to jump in and show my brother some love, because I was like, there's no way that I cannot not do a pick for WrestleMania. These are my guys. So I appreciate y'all for letting me jump in real quick.
Yeah, if you want, just text us your picks for the WrestleMania nights 1 and 2, and we'll read them
Will
out.
do. Yeah, for
All right,
sure. All right, bro. Peace.
later.
Gotta love hearing boots on the ground.
I know. Jeez.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. But like I said, Trick, it's Trick Mellow Gang for a reason.
Yeah. The thing is too is like the way he told his story though. On Tuesday, it was bro. I was like, yo, because he was like, yeah, you were supposed to go for a North American title, and I was going for the NXT title, and then I lost it, and I didn't even get a chance to go after my baby, and you went after my baby. You betrayed me. You betrayed me. I didn't betray me. You betrayed me first because you went after my baby. I was like, yo, he flipped it on him. I was like,
he flipped it on him crazy, and I'm like, wait a minute, wait a minute, guys. That's not fit. That's not right. That's not fair. It's not fair. It's accurate, but it's not fair.
Yeah, the way he did it, I was like, yo, okay, Mello, I see it. All right, so now let's go to night 1 of WrestleMania.
You didn't even give your pick, sir. I love how you just completely skipped over the pick.
I said we all going for Trick.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear that part. Anyway.
Yeah. This one.
This match made me laugh because I'm like, this is just another way for you to get a nostalgia pop because you need to get Rey Mysterio on WrestleMania somehow. But you needed to protect him because clearly he's on a steep decline. You see it in the ring now.
Whole match by himself.
Yeah, you see it now more than ever. Like the stumbles, the precision is a little off. He's a little slow. He's not as strong as it used to be. But I mean, this is one of those situations where it's like, I don't feel like there's a winner here. Like, you can't, like, Dragon Lee really can't afford another loss or to be irrelevant again. Santos just started blowing up, so you can't really afford to lose. And Ray and Dom don't gain anything from this.
No, but like we were talking about on Monday, is what is Dom cooking?
Yeah.
With Santos and Andrade, and he ain't telling nobody about Judgment Day about what he's been doing.
Nope. He's playing the dumb kid. He's playing the dumb kid. And I love it because everyone treats him like a child, so he plays the role. This man is an evil mastermind. I'm waiting for him to just for that switch to flip, and he's just a little sneaky drug dealer that's been making all these side deals so that when the Judgment Day blows up, he's good.
Yeah.
He's cool. You know, what I would love to see, and it's not going to happen because the Elektra Lopez and Lola beef is too much, that you give him a real mommy and you leave Rhea out there by herself. But then you give her like an antithesis in the women's roster by bringing up Lola Vice. Because I don't think Elektra Lopez fits the bill, personally. Mm-hmm. She's been too in the background.
I would have loved it to have been Raquel, to be honest.
I would have loved for it to be Jada Parker, personally. Just from a personality standpoint.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I would have loved it to be Raquel because Raquel could go one-on-one with Rhea. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, a lot of those health issues that came back.
And what's funny is you would almost flip them because then Rhea would technically be the face because it'd be the way that you turn Rhea face in her own way, where she's kind of like the anti-hero, like she's a Vegeta. But then you flip Raquel to being a bad guy, but you allow her to keep her smile and all that other stuff because she's doing the whole flirty thing with Dom.
Exactly. But unfortunately, she's
dealing with other issues.
Yeah, the issues came back again.
Yeah.
Damn it, man! I was so upset. So hopefully they figure out what's causing those flare ups.
They know what's causing it. There's no cure for it. It's about managing lifestyle, and because of the things that your skin and body go through when you're wrestling and you're on the mat and the mat's dirty and you're tussling and everything's being irritated, wrestling irritates that for her.
Yeah, and I remember that when she came back, she was being careful with the makeup being used too.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. I was like, okay, so they're being careful. Like, good. And then that's what I remember. I was like, when she came out on I think it was Rumble, I was like, something's up because she's not wearing makeup. Like, what happened?
Yeah, and then you saw her face slowly start to like blow up
when in time when she was in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh snap! I was like, it's flaring back up. I was like, son of a biznatchos.
Yeah. That being said, I think Santos and Dom win this because, like you said, Dom's cooking something. Dom is definitely cooking something with the heels, the heel Hispanics of the world, or the heel Latino, excuse me, of the WWE.
I would love for him to take the LWO and run with it as a heel faction, how it's supposed to be.
I mean, I feel like you could do it, but you would have to do it almost like the Wolfpack NWO, and you do a Wolfpack version of the LWO.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So, like, it's almost like you have two LWOs, but I mean, they're doing it kind of with Legado because, like, you can't necessarily. But I wonder if, like, Dom will have it be like a conglomerate where it's like, yeah, you have your own factions, but we're all also under my thing, or we're all working together because of me.
Right. Interesting to see.
Yeah.
Next, they're calling them the Birds of Prey. Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't, and I don't like it.
I heard somebody call them the Birds of Prey.
I think that's a punch. I think that's a joke because I've seen Powerpuff Girl memes too.
Yeah, I heard Birds of Prey. I'm like, okay, I don't mind that one.
No, we're not doing Batman references here. We're not, because that's what it is. It's a Batman.
I know. It's a Batman reference. I just,
again,
I'm like,
it also doesn't make sense because then what is Bianca Harley Quinn? That doesn't make sense because it'd be Bianca be Harley Quinn, Trinity be Poison Ivy.
No,
and then you have
Birds of Prey was it was like
it's Harley Quinn. I'm blanking on the Huntress, which would clearly be Jade, and I know the cop was in it at some point, Montoya, but she doesn't count as anybody. I'm almost sure it's Poison Ivy. I'm telling you.
That's from the movie. I'm trying to think about the comic book, the original one.
Oh, dude, I don't know. I didn't pay enough attention to DC Comics to make that assessment.
Yeah, it was like Black Canary.
There we go. That's what I was thinking of. That's what I can remember.
What was that Black? Oh man, they've got so many different ones, man. Black Canary, Cassandra. Current one is Black Canary, Cassandra Cain, Big Barda, Zealot, and Harley Quinn. But like they're four people there with Batwoman, Hawk Girl, Dove, Power Girl, Vixen, Katana, Catwoman, Batgirl, Huntress. Yeah, there's so many of them. But I mean, so you got Jade, you got Naomi, you got Bianca versus the Kabuki Warriors, or two of the three Kabuki Warriors and Dakota Kai. I mean, this is a no-brainer. I mean,
this is like you can't have Jade lose her first match.
I know exactly. You can't have the one person you've been like kind of building on the back end come out, take all four of them out on SmackDown, and then drop. They lose.
Yeah.
I mean, unless unless this would be crazy. This is crazy. The tribal chef is cooking right now. She does a swerve on Naomi and Bianca, and they lose.
That's the only thing that I could see where. But then to me, it's like, is she joining Damage Control at that point?
She doesn't have to join them. She just
no, I know, but then, but that's the thing. Then it's like, I feel like if you're gonna do that, the best way to do it would be post match. It wouldn't be during the match.
Right. They lose, but and she's upset because she doesn't want to lose.
No. I'd say that they win, and they're doing the whole like, yay, we're black, we're proud, black magic, blah 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 blah, black girl magic, blah blah blah, and then she just clocks, like just cold cocks Naomi and Bianca, and it's like does the whole Kendrick Lamar thing. It's like there is no big three, there's only big me. Yeah. And then flexes on them.
Because everybody wants to see her and Bianca go at it. And you can build it for SummerSlam.
Well, I mean, you can build that for SummerSlam. Cool, but you have Backlash in France. Like, we're going to be all across the world up until SummerSlam. Why SummerSlam is going to Cleveland, I could not tell you. I have no idea. But whatever. But, I mean, like, you have it where you have all these other pay-per-views that are going to be massive pay-per-views. So you could have a Naomi versus Jade. You can have a Jade and somebody else versus Naomi and Bianca. Like you can play with that a little bit more. That's why I think, the whole, I'm calling Black Girl Magic. The whole Black Girl Magic crew is going to get the win. But I would not be surprised if they had Jade flip immediately after.
I'd like to see. Look, I agree they're going to win. I'm going to know if I'm not saying she's going to, but it'd be interesting if she does at Mania. It's like, I'm saying, they have her flip so quickly,
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. What we got next?
That's a great question. This goes back to our earlier conversation when Miss Honey was here. As much as they're trying to build Sammy and they're trying to make people care, you can't help but think like, bro, he's already had an extensive reign with this title. Why is he back in this spot? And I get it. This was just to get him on the Mania card because he's a fan favorite.
Mm-hmm.
But everything in me just wants to know why this is a thing. Like, why this and not Chad Gable is
I was going to say I prefer
ultimately the question. And the only answer to me is that Gunther's not losing this title. If you put Chad in the spot, you almost have to give Chad the win. And as much as they built up Chad Gable and he has the fanfare, he has all this stuff, the ultimate person that this was building towards, to me, was Gunther versus Dragunov 4. Like, that's what that's building for to me. It's Gunther versus Dragunov 4. And I don't think it's going to happen. It's probably going to be another trilogy where I think there's Backlash. There's one in July that's probably Clash at the Castle.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe there's SummerSlam. Right? And I think maybe finally it's going to happen the way it did before, where Dragunov somehow loses the first one, somehow loses the second one, and on that third shot is when he wins the Intercontinental title, opening up Gunther to challenge whoever the World Heavyweight Champion is at Berlin, in Berlin. Now, mind you, people forget that he's Austrian, so not really his home country, but it's close enough. And that is my prediction for that entire story. The reason why Sammy's here is because Sammy, they're giving you the underdog Sammy thing one more time to make you remember why you love Sammy. Which to me means they're building him for something bigger after WrestleMania. Like, he's going to lose at WrestleMania, but that's going to catapult him into, in my opinion, the world heavyweight title situation. And they're going to use this loss as such an emotional blow that Sammy's just like, no, I have to finish this year with gold. And it, like, I've never been a world champion. Like, he went from saying I've never been a world champion to I've never been a champion. They need to bring him back to I've never been a world champion. And he needs to challenge whoever the world heavyweight champion is. Whoever it is.
He ain't going to win. I know that.
I truly, here's the thing. I think that there is a world where you can get all that you want. And I think there is a world where Sammy can win it. But I just don't think Sammy would have a long reign. At least not now. That being said, I'm going to go with Gunther with this. Just because, again, Gunther has to have this title to do the same promo that he had before of, I've beaten everyone. There's no one else here. I'm bored. Who's going to come and challenge me? Or I'm going to go and be a double champion. And then that's when you have Dragunov's music hit. And you don't say a damn thing. You don't say nothing. You don't say, those who know, those who don't will find out. And you just have commentary put that match over to the freaking moon.
Who's Monday night? It's Michael Cole and
It's Michael Cole and Pat McAfee.
McAfee. Yeah. Oh,
which is the perfect commentary team to do it.
Yeah.
That's the team you need to do it.
Yeah. I'm still getting used to Corey on SmackDown because I'm used to Corey being like that Jerry the King Lawler type of commentator, like
yes,
what Bad News is right now. And I'm like, I'm waiting for Corey to say something like negative. I'm like, damn it, Corey, stop being so positive. Stop being Michael Cole, man. I need you to
Corey's
be
the face. Corey's the face now. And Corey's the play-by-play guy.
Yeah, and he's not that he does a bad job. It's just like
it's hard to get the flip from the color guy to the play-by-play guy.
Yeah, it's hard to let it go because he was so good.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like he does a good job on the play-by-play.
He does.
You know, so like they have their team now. Like I like it. I like him and Barrett. Like they're good. They're good together. They're really good.
They are very good together because it allows Barrett to continue to be the heel that he is. He doesn't have to be a face.
Right. Like when he was the face, he didn't do a bad job. It was just awkward.
Yeah, him being a face is just weird.
Yeah.
I don't like it. It's weird. Doesn't fit.
No.
Who's your pick?
It's Gunther, dude. It's Gunther. There's no way. Like if it was Chad, I give Chad a better chance of beating Gunther than Sammy. But there's no way Gunther losing this match. He's gonna beat the crap out of Sammy in this one.
Fine. Why am I dark? Where did my screen go?
Maybe you covered the camera?
No.
My camera?
No.
The storyteller has an L in her.
Listen, bro, did you banish me to the Shadow Realm? What is going on here?
You're here. I see your black screen right there.
Why is there an L?
Because you turned off your camera.
This is the problem with very live things.
There it is.
All right. And we're back. This is what I've been waiting for. This is what I've been waiting for. This is what I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for. I'm not John. Why? Why does this camera hate me? Why does this camera hate me? Okay. Technical difficulties. This match has really just been one I've been waiting for simply because I feel like this is how they split the titles. This is how they're going to do it. Because they've made it very clear that both titles are going to be up there. And each team has to take down both titles in order to win the match. It's not just like, oh, you take down one, you win the match, you win both. I feel like one team's gonna grab one team's gonna grab the other, and then it's gonna be one of those like weird finishes.
Kind of like Batista and John Cena.
Yeah, and then the general managers are just gonna be like, well, since there's two different titles, I guess we'll just have our respective shows, and then everybody comes out clean.
All right, so
the problem is I don't know who's on what show. That's my issue here. Is I don't know who's on what show.
I got it. I was thinking about it. Theory and Waller and the New Republic.
New Catch Republic?
Yeah, they're from SmackDown.
Okay.
Everybody else is Raw.
So I think the Awesome Truth is going to get the Raw Tag Team titles. And I think if they replace Waller and Theory, like I've been hearing, whatever that team is going to get the SmackDown titles. If not, I think they're going to put it on New Catch Republic. Or I think it'll be fun if they put it on DIY and they have DIY move to SmackDown.
I was thinking Judgment Day retains the Raw titles. And either New Catch Republic or Theory, Waller, or whoever replaces them win to SmackDown. Like one of the two SmackDown teams gets the SmackDown titles.
I mean, I think about that. My issue is that they've been pushing the Awesome Truth so much that I find it hard to believe that they're just not going to put the titles on them. And in order for my later prediction to make sense, Damian needs to not have a title.
Oh crap! I forgot about that part.
That is the main reason why I think that they don't come out with any gold.
Good point. Very good point. It's just, I think Ron's gonna do some shenanigans, and I think DIY is gonna pull off the Raw, and I still think somebody from the SmackDown is gonna come out with SmackDown.
I mean, I feel like whether it's Awesome Truth or DIY, they're gonna keep with that Regeneration X storyline, making it like that's the comedy bit. The thing that worries me about the SmackDown one is you need a team that is like, cool, we've been building them. But if I'm not mistaken, aren't the Creed brothers on SmackDown?
No, they're on Raw.
They're on Raw. That could be a problem. Because I feel like you don't have, and again, this could go into my prediction of what if you replace Theory and Waller with Braun and Baron, and Braun and Baron immediately win the tag titles. It's not my favorite thing in the world because I don't want Braun to be pigeonholed into this division, but it allows you to continue that storyline just on the main roster and continue to build that tag team just on the main roster.
I don't mind it, but it's annoying because of the fact that literally these two guys, you have them win the match, and you say they weren't supposed to win it. So then why the hell did you put that segment together for them?
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. And I feel bad for those guys because of the fact that this is WrestleMania. This is what these guys this is their Super Bowl.
I mean, I get it, but you look at what Waller and Theory have been doing. They're the young guys that are kind of taking the L right now, early on, and they're putting other guys over, and they're going to get repaid later.
Oh, no, of course.
The thing is, again, Theory already has the 2-time U.S. title thing, but his title reigns have not been great because there's no character work. You got to give him something. And it's like Waller's the goofy and annoying one, but even he kind of got a little serious when they did the Sydney thing in the Elimination Chamber. So it's like, are we going to keep them together? Are we going to blow them up? We don't really know. But I think having them get taken out does more for their character than them being in this match.
Yeah. So who you got? You got the Awesome Truth.
I have the Awesome Truth winning one title, and I have either whoever replaces Theory and Waller winning the titles, or Theory and Waller winning the titles.
So we'll go with Theory and Waller.
Yeah,
because it'll still count the same way.
Because I don't think New Catch Republic is over enough for them to be champions and for people to buy into them as champions.
No, I mean I love them. Those guys are great. I agree with you. I don't think the WWE universe is behind them enough to like carry them as champions for at least till the next pay-per-view or
right.
That.
Right.
You know, so I probably say DIY and a SmackDown team.
A SmackDown team.
Yeah.
Insert SmackDown team.
Yeah. Now I'll follow you. I'll say the same thing. Either Theory Waller or whoever replaces them, pretty much. Because I think that's what it's going to be. I don't think it's the New Catch Republic, honestly, at the end.
No. And there's like, again, the prevailing theory is that like the same way the Hardys came back that year where it was a 6-pack challenge, that the Dudleys would come back. But when I heard Devon was like, yo, bro, I'm done. Like, I'm done. And he's been doing such good work as a producer. I would hate for them to come back for a nostalgia pop just for them to either lose or to win the titles and then have to go along with that and have them work for a couple of months. Like, it'll be weird. Unless, again, you do it for the nostalgia pop and then you hot shot the titles on Friday.
I could see you putting like them coming out to introduce the team, kind of like what happened with New Day. New Day was coming out. Like, you thought it was New Day, but it was actually the Hardy Boys. So it's like another on the back end. And I think that might happen. You might get the Dudley Boys to come out for nostalgia pop, and they're like, no, we're here just to tell our hometown Philly that we're gonna have this team come out.
I feel like that team gets booed though if you do that.
It's gotta be a team. If you do that, it's gotta be a team that's gonna get a pop.
There's literally no one. Like, there's no one. That's the problem, is that there's no one.
Yeah, because if that's the case, and then there's no point in doing it because
exactly, which is why, again, I don't understand why you don't have the Creed brothers in this match. It makes me very angry because this was time to put them over as your champions. But whatever. What do I know? They need to be built a little bit more, I guess. Whatever.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
This one is so hard because you could see it going both ways. But
I agree.
But you can see it going either way. Like, it can really go either way. Like, there really isn't a wrong choice. I just feel like Jey Uso is so big right now. So big. That you can't little brother him anymore. Like, you can't do the whole little brother thing. And I feel like Jimmy beating him is a little brother thing. And Jimmy is not relevant. Like, he's not relevant. He's still Jimmy in the bloodline, which is like, ugh.
And he's Jimmy the goofball.
Yeah, he's not the right hand man. He's literally the unwanted child. He's not what Jey was, and that's clear. In every way, he's not what Jey is. And I feel like that's the story that they're telling, is that Jimmy's trying to convince himself that he's every bit as talented and everything as Jey is, and Jey is just soaring without everyone else. And Jimmy can't survive on his own. Even though I will say, if you put Jimmy in the U.S. title picture, that would definitely have helped. But I digress. It's amazing what
that's a rabbit hole we don't want to get into.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We don't have all night to do that. People have lives and shit to do.
But no, this one is a tough one because the thing is here, if Jimmy wins, what happens next? because you can't
Question.
put Jay anywhere else after taking that L.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even though it's a new season coming up, but still, it's like I feel like if you're gonna do that, then they're gonna have to run it back at Backlash.
Yeah, that's the only thing that would make sense. If you're gonna do that, you have to have them run it back if Jimmy wins, and then you probably have to run it back again at Clash of the Castle for the trilogy.
Like I wanna say, oh, God. No, they're gonna no. That's for the later match. I think for later for the next night. No, I'll keep that out. Who you got in this one?
Jay.
See, I'm torn, man, because I want to say I like the easy answer is Jay, but then I feel like they might do Jimmy and then run it back. But it's like, no, just let Jay have the win at Mania, get the pop, get his shine. Yeah, I'll go with Jay too. And just it's just there's so much more
To do if Jay wins. That's
yeah.
the thing.
Yeah, if Jimmy wins, you pigeonhole Jay back, and then what do you do with Jimmy?
Yeah. Whereas if Jimmy loses, then it's you disappointed the tribal chief.
Exactly.
And then you can play with that. You can go back to that when he was bullying the way he was.
Right. This one's going to be a good one.
This is so hard because, again, this is another match where both winners make sense. My biggest thing is I think in order for the Judgment Day to fall, and I think that this is what that's leading to, Rhea has to drop her title.
It leads to what I think you're thinking the same thing as I am in the falling of it, and I agree. It has to that they all have to lose the belts.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think if you're on the same mental level I am, night 2 is gonna be a big one too.
And again, it goes back to what Damian said. He's like, as much as WrestleMania is big for Judgment Day as a group, it's big for all of us as individuals. And I think you have to see the cracks start to happen again because of how popular Rhea is. You have to see the cracks start to happen with her. And you have to see her grip on the not only the women's division, but on the WWE, on the Judgment Day. You have to see her influence stripped away from her and what that does to her.
And you can and Becky already has a feud waiting, as it is too, with Nia Jax.
With Nia,
Liv,
a
friendly feud, if we can say all that.
Right, and I think with again, this is one of those situations where with Becky winning, it opens up the doors for more to happen. Excuse me, for more to happen. There's a lot more that you can do with Becky as champion right now than you can with Rhea as champion.
Yeah, and like I said, Raquel being out, unfortunately, Raquel being out, it's like it hinders the division a bit.
And you don't have your horses that are coming from NXT just yet. So, yeah.
The main roster has a lot of injuries. There's Raquel, there's Charlotte.
There's still Alexa.
Alexa has to come back.
Yeah, and a lot of and most of it is to the Raw side of it. And that's the thing with Raw is that like you have to give Becky the shot. You almost have to give Becky the title to make her believable again because your only two stars on Raw right now are Becky and Rhea. You don't have any stars in the women's division. You have Liv, but Liv's lost a little bit of her luster because of the injury, because she's been out for so long.
And Tiffany's starting to
And
build up.
Tiffany Stratton. And again, if you're gonna build Tiffany Stratton the way that it seemed, no, Tiffany's on SmackDown.
I thought she was on Raw.
No, Tiffany's on SmackDown.
Okay, my bad.
Would have loved for her to be on Raw now. Would have made more sense for her to be on Raw, but it is what it is. Yeah, so there's no real star power. And having Becky lose just to prove Rhea right is like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Can't.
So we're in agreement here, Becky?
Yep.
Damn, we're like agreeing on a lot of stuff. God.
Well, we've been doing this long enough. The storylines kind of all make sense now.
Mm-hmm. All right. This one with the stipulations is tough.
It is very tough.
It's very tough. Because like now I'm torn because Tama Tonga signed a contract with WWE. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a matter of when he's going to appear. Is it at this match or a night 2?
He's
not because let's play devil's advocate. Let's say the Rock and Roman wins, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bloodline rules, anything goes, whatever. He could show up. But if Cody and Seth win, remember the stipulation specifically says nobody from the bloodline. Tama Tonga is not in the bloodline yet.
No, he's not.
So he could show up and cost Cody the match.
Again, my only issue with that is eye roll. We're doing this again. We're doing the same thing again. That's what's the frustrating part, is that like you're doing the same thing again. And if that happens, then it's like Cody also looks like a stupid baby face. Because he pulls the same thing again. Which is why my prevailing theory, and this leads directly into night 2, is that the Bloodline win this match. And the Bloodline wins with The Rock pinning Cody. Right? And it's the, I would say it's the Infinity War before Endgame. That's how I look at it. It's Infinity War.
And that's the thing too. The way I see it, because of the way I'm going to pick night 2, it makes more sense for Cody and Seth to lose and lose bad.
Mm-hmm.
Because it sets the stage for night 2 in a lot of ways. A lot of ways.
Exactly. And I think it turns into Seth getting injured, Cody, like The Rock almost fulfilling the prophecy that he spoke of with Cody's mom and everything. Like all that stuff is going to happen. I 100% see it happening.
Now there's word coming around that Cena and Stone Cold are going to show up and like kind of help him out and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, is it going to be for night 1 or night 2? Is the question.
I think it's going to be for night 2 because again, you keep saying everybody keeps saying bloodline rules, but there are no actual set rules for bloodline rules.
Right.
So
it might as well say no non-DQ match.
I know that's what they're saying, but I think it's gonna be like a weird kind of and I hate to keep using cartoon references, but it's gonna be like when Vegeta, Gohan, and Goku fought to when they were trying to destroy Majin Buu, and it's just like you fight this opponent. Oh yeah, no, but you fight him in his territory. Cool, you beat that guy. You fight this opponent next. Oh, but yeah, there's this stipulation. Oh, so you finally get to beat the final opponent. Nah, you actually don't, because now Majin Buu gets released and now you gotta fight Majin Buu. It's gonna be that kind of weird situation of like, the rule is you can't win this way. Boom. So Cody can't win. Right? This person can interfere and we can beat Cody down and we can do all this other stuff and blah, 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 blah. Right? and then Cody finds some way to trick the system. Then all the nostalgia pops happen. Everyone's coming. Everyone's doing all this other stuff. And in order for my prediction to make sense, all that has to start with like bloodline rules need to be in play. Which bloodline rules is essentially anything goes. The bloodline can do what they want to do, which is exactly what you want in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I have the bloodline winning this match.
I do too. It sets up so much because then Seth doesn't go into his match with Drew 100%.
Yeah.
And Drew goes off and tells him, "This is why I say, mind your business. You shouldn't be worried about that over there, and worry about this and this and that." So it plays with so much. So that's night one. Damn. Night two. Night two, kick it off with LA Knight and AJ Styles.
Well, I know AJ Styles is supposed to be debuting new music, which is probably going to lead into a new character. I don't really know who needs to win this match more in a lot of ways. I don't know. I really don't know because they did not do a good job of making me care about this match because it seemed as though everything was pointing to LA Knight versus Logan Paul for the U.S. title, and that didn't happen. So this, to me, is like, yes, is he facing a former world champion, AJ Styles? Cool, great. We don't care who he faces anymore. All we want is for LA Knight to be a champion. So I'm going to say LA Knight wins this because you need to kind of restart this push. You need to restart this push. And AJ Styles has made plenty of enemies in the back with his little, fade to black moment.
I mean,
and also AJ Styles isn't moving up the card to do anything special. So
I think
nor does he need to.
Once his contract ends, he's done, right? I think his contract.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah, I think he's now in position to literally just enjoy the moment
and put guys over.
Yep. And what better way for LA Knight than to have his WrestleMania moment and win it as well? I mean, AJ doesn't really need this win. No. I think he wins more by losing than actually winning.
I agree.
In this one. So I have to say, I think we're both in agreement with LA Knight on this one. It just makes sense because
it makes too much sense. Yeah,
you can't knock him back too far back. He's already had. He didn't elimination chamber. He didn't win.
He lost to Roman Reigns before that.
Yeah, you thought he was going to have the feud with Logan Paul.
Didn't happen. Yeah. So.
So you gotta set him right, and this is the right way to do it. So, yeah. All right, second match on the card. This one.
Another one that does not make sense.
One that should have been done. Like, I know Karrion Kross has had issues with other guys before. And they were quick. Boom, 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 boom. This one has just dragged on for too long. And I like that they added AOP with him. And I like that. But it's like you're adding so much and you're dragging this with it. It's a little bit tiring now.
Yeah.
So I need this to end. I need Karrion Kross to win. And Bobby gets to be like, blow everything up, like, I'm out, deuces.
We are in agreement. But what I would love is for the Profits to turn on him and not him turn on the Profits. I would love for that to be a thing.
That would
or like he gets mad at them, he gets upset at them, and they just snap.
No, I don't even think he has to get upset at them. I think they lose. He gets pinned, and then they were like, they look at him, "Yo, what happened? What happened?" And then he's just talking to him. They go like, look at each other like, you know what? And then, bah, they just take him out. They put him down, and B-Fab is just in shock.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then they walk away. Because I mean, this whole thing with Street Profits and Bobby is not working out.
It's
is.
not. It's not.
Really
Unfortunately, they booked it to hell. It was promising, and then they just booked it to hell.
It's like you said, like they were supposed to be heels, but they didn't get the heel reaction they should have. So then they became faces, and Bobby's not a face.
And a part of the problem is that there just wasn't enough face tag teams for us to care about. That was the biggest thing. And then all your champions were heels. So like the timing was also wrong. So you couldn't really attack anybody that was going to make the crowd turn on them.
Yeah.
So
it was just bad timing on.
It's bad timing.
The trigger. Oh.
This match also makes me upset. It makes no sense. Neither one of these guys need to be in this match. This match should have been two people who need big first wins. To me, this match is just to further get Logan Paul over. And I thought that this title reign would end at WrestleMania. I feel like it's not.
Who's taking the pin?
Probably KO. It's probably KO.
I don't know. I kind of want it with Randy. It'll to give Logan a little bit more of a solid.
Yeah, that's what I just thought about it when I said it. I feel like Logan Paul pinning Randy in like a shenanigan kind of way of like Owens hits Randy gets upset, RKO's him, is about to pin him, Logan hits Randy with the brass knuckles.
Yeah,
like
and
that's yeah.
And then you can have Logan Paul and KO go at it again at Backlash, individually one-on-one. And Logan Paul still win. Because I think the thing with this now is to carry him as champion up to SummerSlam in Cleveland.
Or you could do Cleveland, or you could have him losing that Money in the Bank. But Cleveland makes more sense. Especially now that since he was the one that announced Cleveland too, it makes more sense.
Boop, boop, boop. Oh.
And here we go. This directly ties into the Bloodline match because I believe that Seth Rollins is going to be so bruised, so beat, so battered.
And the tag team ladder match.
Yes, and the tag team ladder match. But I think, truthfully, that Drew McIntyre wins this match. And I think it's a situation of like, I told you so. Drew finally has his WrestleMania moment. He finally has the crowd. He finally gets to live his moment. And then Damian Priest music hits. And Damian Priest cashes in on Drew McIntyre, bringing that storyline full circle and allowing for Damian Priest to walk out of WrestleMania as champion. Drew actually be even worse off because he had the title in his hand and lost it. And Seth just be so despondent where you could either have him come back as a babyface, you could have him come back as a heel, but he takes a little bit of time off. He can blame Cody. You can go in a bunch of different directions with that one.
Mm-hmm.
With Seth losing the title due to the tag team match. Not to mention you saw Paul Heyman in the back talking to Drew McIntyre. So I think that there's also a world where you have Solo interfere here and you have a Solo Seth feud moving forward. before Seth then re-enters the World Heavyweight Championship situation. But I think Drew winning.
I'm gonna change it up. I don't think Drew gets his WrestleMania moment yet.
Ooh, that's spicy.
I don't think he gets it. I think what I think is gonna happen is they're gonna go at it, and then kind of like same thing like Roman and Brock, all over again. It's gonna come back to Seth. When he gets to Roman, and get them to him. And I think, and it's gonna cause more issues for Drew McIntyre because of the fact that, like you were saying, he was about to have his WrestleMania moment when they got snatched away. Because what's worse to happen to him? That he has a WrestleMania moment, he wins the title, and then loses in the same night,
or he just doesn't have it.
Just doesn't happen.
He does all of this, injures CM Punk, all this to get to WrestleMania, only for Damian Priest to steal the spotlight and to be a triple threat match. Yeah, no, it makes sense. And what would be worse is it'll be actually a great way to protect Seth too, is if Drew takes the pin.
Yeah.
That way you protect Seth and you have your match going forward, and you have the blow-off match at Clash the Castle in Scotland. And then maybe you can put the title on Drew then. Because you're already advertising it and it's months away. You can put the title on Drew then. Have Drew go into Bash of Berlin as champion and then have him drop it to Gunther.
You could.
Which would be like, so good. So good.
I mean, like, I hate the hot potato, the belts. But
this title needs it though.
But if you build the storylines correctly, you know what I'm saying? I don't mind it. Right. I wouldn't mind it because it's like, plus of the fact that who they are. You have Priest losing to McIntyre, which, bro, that's top notch. Yes. Then you have Drew losing to Gunther, again, another top notch. It's like you can't, you know what I'm saying? You cannot say no.
And then in doing that, you add two guys to the main event scene that desperately needs stars.
Right. And the thing is like we're saying, because of the fact that Judgment Day goes into this night 2 with no belts, or leaves night 1 with no belts, Priest comes out, wins it, and he's like, I have a belt. Y'all figure it out. And then that's when the cracks start happening. And when he loses the belt, he's actually by himself.
Yep.
No Judgment Day, no help.
He could even get screwed by Judgment Day at that point.
He could. Finn Balor?
Yep. Finn Balor was actually, to me, it'd almost be sweeter if it was Dom who screwed him. Because then you position Dom as this monster threat to everyone. And you put Dom in a situation where, like, who's to say Dom can't be a world heavyweight champion?
Here's the thing. You have Dom do something that looks accidental, but then when he comes down from the ring and comes down to the floor, he smirks. Like it wasn't an accident, it was on purpose. Like if you like we're saying, the details, if you're not paying attention, you don't see that, you won't notice that he smirked. Like he's like, yeah.
Not until the video package.
Right. You know what I mean? So it's like, it was an accident. And then you like the next night you see that smirk, like, nah, that was no accident. That was on purpose. You know, he calls from the title. You know? So now he's like, now he goes like, no, nobody has a title, so nobody's a leader. And then he somehow gets the Intercontinental title.
I mean,
oh no, because that'll be Dragunov. No,
it'll be off Dragunov, and I know they want Dragunov to have a lengthy reign.
Yeah, no, it won't. The what's that called? The Speed title.
Yeah, you could have him win that title.
Well, he's not gonna win it right away because that's supposed to be Ricochet's title right off the rip.
Yeah. So,
but what's to say he doesn't win it later on? And he's like, "Oh look, I have the title." It could to kind of help bring that title up in prestige a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of directions you can go with that, but I think having Dominic be the one versus Finn, or like you could even have both. You can have it be a situation where you think it's Finn and Priest blames Finn, but in reality, it's been Dom the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So you got Drew on this one, or you got Damian Priest like me?
I have Drew winning, but I have Damian Priest ultimately leaving as World Heavyweight Champion.
Nah, I got Damian Priest winning flat out. Like
no, both scenarios to me work fine, but I have Drew winning.
Oh, you're being nice and you're giving him his WrestleMania moment.
Yeah, that's my thing. Is the reaction of like, oh, he finally won, blah blah blah, and of course it's not going to be a clean win by any means, but the shock on his face and the despair on his face when he's so like he barely wins the match and he's so broken down and beaten and everything, to have Damian then come down and hit him with the razor's edge. Ugh.
Yeah, it has to be the razor's edge because at that point you don't get up from that.
Yep.
Because that move is so well protected.
Yeah, he made a promise to Scott Hall, so
yeah. And we always see it like when he's about to pop it, it gets broken. Like something happens to break up the move, so he never pulls it off. But when he does pull it off, it's a wrap.
Yep.
So yeah, night 2 is gonna be interesting. Now we got this one.
This is a layup for me. This is Bailey. You gotta put put this title on a star. I get what they're trying to do. I get they were trying to build EO and all that other stuff, and EO had the fanfare and everybody liked the. We saw what happened. They couldn't even get EO in the spotlight without having Bailey be there. Now it'd be interesting if she does beat Bailey and see what they do. I wouldn't be mad at it, but I just think with everything that you've done with Bailey being overlooked, Bailey being underbooked for this feud monstrously, you gotta have Bailey get her due. And she's not even completely a babyface. That's the part that I love about it. She's not even a babyface. But you let her have her WrestleMania moment, and then you do what you need to do because you got the hounds from the earlier match breathing down your neck. And I feel like with Bailey, then you can have Dakota Kai enter the fray. You're gonna have Jade, Naomi, and Bianca. You're gonna have Tiffany. Like you got a main event scene there. You just need to use it. And Bailey's the perfect person, I think, to be the catalyst for that.
Yeah, because she's a tweener. She's not a
She's a tweener. Yeah, exactly. But she can wrestle both sides.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I agree. The thing is, I don't think the crowd took to EO as champion as they thought that they would embrace her.
I think they saw the European crowd and they got excited, not realizing that the American crowd was not behind EO the way they thought that they were.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's all right, but that's their own fault for not building her up.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So we're in agreement here with Bailey.
Yep.
Main event time.
This is when I think I don't know what the shenanigans are going to be, but I think this is going to be Bloodline rules. And this is when I think The Rock flips back. I think The Rock is going to be the one that's going to cost Roman the title, a la Triple H with Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens. I don't know if you remember that for the Universal title. I think that's what's going to happen. And then you can bring in Toma Tonga, but you have to realize the whole thing with Solo that people keep forgetting is that Solo was quote unquote sent by the elders. Who are these elders? We think they're only like, Roman's dad, his uncle, Rikishi, all of them. The Rock is, what is he, like 57 years old, 56, something like that? He in his 50s somewhere. Mm-hmm. He ain't a spring chicken. Okay? I do think, and again, I think this ties into the hard times that everyone kept talking about that Cody had to go through to make him a worthy champion. I will say this, as much as I still to this day disagree with the decision from last year, I do think that making Cody earn it over the last year has done a lot to flesh out the character of Cody Rhodes. Whether you like him or you hate him, I think it's definitely more polarizing now than it was like he's the hero in the story. But I think The Rock being the catalyst to screw Roman, and as much as he's quote unquote acknowledged Roman has been an afterthought. And I think the point of that is to say, like, hey, the match here is between Cody and The Rock. The big money, like the thing is, Roman Reigns has somehow become secondary, even though he's arguably the greatest champion of a generation. And there's no better way to end that reign than to have the previous champion, who's in a lot of ways whose place he took, take that back and be like, I'm still the final boss. I'm still the guy. And I think you need bloodline rules for that, because you have to give Roman that sense of security and arrogance to make it the same way when Jay and Jimmy turned on him. He was so arrogant. He was so sure that he's fine and this is family, that he doesn't see it coming. And in doing so, he also pushes Solo and Jimmy away, where he pushes his family away because now he can no longer trust his family, because his family has screwed him out of the ultimate prize. Which is why I think Cody Rhodes is going to win Sunday.
See, this is tough because of the fact The Rock said, he's like, if you lose, you can no longer come after the title. Kind of like what happened in AEW.
Exactly. And you can't have that happen.
But it's like I've been saying, the thing with Roman, they want him to beat out Hogan. And he beat
I don't know if that's true.
I think it is. I
don't know if that's true, honestly.
I think it is. The other thing too, I remember he said, like, once he loses the belt, he's like, it's a wrap. Like, he's done. And so here's what I see. I see it being bloodline rules. I see it being hectic and crazy. And I see you have Stone Cold, you have John Cena come out like they're saying they do. I see something happening that to lose, like a big swerve, a big surprise.
Before you finish that, word just came out from PW Insider that John Cena is officially off the board for anything involving major physical activity a la wrestling at WrestleMania 40.
So he's not going to get into SmackDown.
He's not going to get into, and if he does anything, it'll be promo stuff. It'll be backstage stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But he's off the board for physical stuff for the remainder of the year, as he's filming Peacemaker from June to November.
Makes sense. He's filming, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? That's his world now. You know, he comes back to this as like, you know, hey, what's up, guys? Whatever. We're not doing anything, and I get it. But going back to this now, so that takes him off the board. So the thing here is, I see, like, say Steve Austin coming out, and maybe if they can pull out Dustin coming out, then like, taking down Jimmy and Solo, and then you have Tamatana coming out. He's a new member of the Bloodline.
Whose bloodline is the question?
No, he comes out. He takes out Stone Cold and he takes out Dustin. And then The Rock comes out. I don't see Cody winning this, though. I really don't. because of the fact I think they really want him to break that record, and I think Survivor Series will be in New York at MSG, and that's what
No, I think they announced where Survivor Series was going to be. It's not in MSG this year.
No,
No,
I thought it was still to be determined.
they dropped the location. I know I saw it somewhere.
Let's see.
It's in Chicago.
Don't really.
It's in Chicago. Yep.
I still see it as on TBA.
It's in the Chicago theater ticket thing. Apparently, it's already sold out too.
I didn't even know tickets went out.
Yeah.
Wait, Allstate Arena?
Yep.
That's last year.
That's last year's. Okay, then they haven't announced it yet, which doesn't make a lot of sense. But okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that's the plan.
And again, that may be their plan, but they're shooting themselves in the foot again. Because now no one's literally by the time he breaks it, no one's gonna care. And they're
But the thing is, this is the way I'm going with it, is Cody he loses this and everything like that, and then he wins Money in the Bank. And
again, and I get what you're saying, but even if again, there's going to be a large section of the WWE universe that is going to want the carnage and the chaos because they know that people are going to be upset by this. And some people just thrive off, no pun intended, the heel heat. But let's be realistic here. If you were going to do that, there was still no reason for Cody to win the Royal Rumble, and you've wasted everyone's time.
I think they messed up on that. Like I said, CM Punk, we agree. I think we all said CM Punk was supposed to win it because he got the injury. They said renege it, give it to Cody. I said they should just let it happen how it was supposed to be. CM Punk wins it. Hey guys, I won the Royal Rumble, but I'm hurt. I can't compete. I can't do this. So the Elimination Chamber will determine your actual winner of the Rumble, who decides who they go after. And you go from there. That way, you can have somebody else who can figure out, flesh out a storyline, who you want to actually win it.
You could have still done the Drew thing.
And you could have done the Drew thing. Right. You could have done the Drew thing, not have Cody win it, not have Cody go after Roman. And they were trying to undo it because it was supposed to be Rocket Roman at Mania the whole time. Like we were saying. That's what it was supposed to be. But then you had the Cody Crybabies come out. They were upset about it.
Okay, y'all going to stop with that little name because at the end of the day, it's like you're calling someone stupid for being smart.
I just like the way Rock says it.
it's one of those situations where I'm like, oh, so The Rock is just coming out not only being a heel, but being a narcissist. Because now you're telling us that exactly what you've been telling us for the last 2 years, we're like, no, you're not making sense now. Because now you're saying you're above the Royal Rumble, who has been a staple in wrestling for years and, help make your career. You're above that. You're above WrestleMania. Like, no. Now we don't want this. It's like now that you've given us the Cody rematch, and that's my thing, is as much as they want Roman to break the record, if they wanted Roman to break the record, they should have never done this. Because now if you do this, you either going to sacrifice the record or you're going to sacrifice your biggest babyface since
Hogan.
Rock, since Rock or Austin.
No, Austin was a tweener.
True, but they largely people consider Austin a babyface.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Because of how over he was.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't keep doing this and then calling people stupid when they hate it.
Well, apparently with the reaction of the fans, that's what caused them to change everything. So like what we're getting now is like a last minute change of what's supposed to be.
And again, this is their own, like they keep painting themselves in corners and then being confused when fans react a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, all right, so when you have a situation where Cody's now back to what he was in AEW and no one cares about Cody, and then they're like, hey, here's Cody, we're going to be like, bro, we don't care.
Yeah.
Like,
he ain't going nowhere because he can't compete for that title while Roman holds it. And who's going to beat Roman?
Yeah. And then it's not going to matter about Cody finishing his story because the story then became about as much as it was about getting the title, it also became about beating Roman, who was the most dominant champion in 50 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the story is as much about Cody and Dusty as it is about Cody and Roman now. And you can't just keep pivoting and be like, well, we're still trying to get to the same destination because we still want him to break Hogan's record and blah, 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 blah. And everyone's just like, bro, at this point, we don't care about records anymore. You guys had a nice little span of like 2-3 years where you could reset the record book and that was cute. We don't care about records anymore, bro. Like, I'm so ready for the titles to hot potato at this point. Like, I'm so ready for it. I'm so sick of long reigns. Like, I'm upset that I asked for it. Because it's literally like you tell your kids to be quiet and then they disappear for 3 days. And it's like, that's not what I told you. I told you to be quiet. I didn't say disappear. It's like, but I was quiet. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, this is not what we asked for. We asked for 7-8 months, not 2-3 years.
I don't know.
4 years. You know? We asked for 7-8 months for a fleshed out story, for someone's reign to mean something. Roman has done all that, and that's been great. And it's been fantastic. And you've reestablished the luster of that title. Now we're done. We're done. We're done.
5 more months. 5 more months.
No, and that's the thing. Then it's another half a year. Bro, I don't care anymore. At that point, then you're proving everything that Seth you're even proving Seth right. Where it's like, okay, so what you're telling me is I should care about the World Heavyweight title more because that's more important because that's actually a wrestling title. That's actually your world title because people actually compete for that. This is a title that you just want to do Hollywood stuff with history and write stories and blah 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 blah. Like this is essentially you're calling the WWE title the NWA title.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're doing to it to me. So it's like when he loses, yeah, it'll be great, but then it's like I'm not going to care about that title anymore because you in order for you to make the title what it was, you sacrificed everything else in the company, and it's not worth it because if this is supposed to be a renaissance of WWE, your megastars have to go back and forth. Like, how many times did The Rock and Austin hot potato those titles? You know what I'm saying? And it never, the feud never lost anything because the titles flipped. The only thing is that one guy gained momentum over the other. That's it. So Roman doesn't lose anything by losing this title. If anything, Roman gains a lot more.
The only other way I could see this going crazy where he doesn't get the title, but he still can able to fight for it is if he wins but doesn't get the title, like a DQ win. But you can't.
And again,
you can't do that in bloodline rules, though.
No, you can. That's the thing. You can. Because bloodline rules is whatever bloodline says goes. So literally you can even have it where Cody wins the title and then Roman shows up was like, well, we were wrestling by bloodline rules. The ref that counted for you was not my ref. It wasn't our this. And you have it be a big controversy where Cody has to be stripped for the title.
No.
And give him back.
I was going with like kind of like Lex Luger Yokozuna. Lex Luger beat Yokozuna by countout, and they celebrated as if he had won the title, but he never did. He just beat Yokozuna, who had never been beaten in quite some time. It's a shoddy way of doing it, but it keeps him. It still keeps him in to wrestle for the title later on.
But that's the thing. You also then make Cody look like an idiot.
No. It's not his fault if he wins by DQ. You know what I mean?
It is, but it isn't, because again, it makes him look like the gullible baby face that just so happens. It's like slipping on a banana peel at the end of like a Mario Kart race. Like, you got second place, you're still in the running, but you slipped on a banana peel at the end, and that's why you didn't get first. You know what I'm saying? I could even see a situation where like The Rock is a special guest referee, and that's a part of the bloodline rules, and then he rock bottoms Roman and disqualifies Roman so that Cody's the winner and Cody wins by DQ, but Roman keeps the title. Like, then it's shoddy as hell, but then there's a little more wiggle room because, again, the feud looks more like it's between The Rock and Cody and not Cody and Roman. So then you can do The Rock and Cody, then you have Cody win the Money in the Bank, and then you do it.
That's not The Rock's schedule, though, and how he feels after this week.
I don't give a shit how he feels. You don't build this storyline to this much and then be like, all right, I'm out. Unless Cody wins the title clean. Like, that's the only way Rock can then go off in the sunset and do what he wants. That's my issue with it, is that you can't come in, drop a nuclear bomb saying, hey, I fixed it, and then disappear with so many loose ends. That's my thing. You can't, if you're going to make this the greatest WrestleMania of all time, you can't do the greatest WrestleMania of all and then cliffhanger. Like, we already got the Thanos snap last year. That's my thing. You already done the Thanos slap last year. You can't do it again.
Yeah. Cole almost caught me. Michael Cole this Monday. He was like, oh, he beat Hogan's record. I was like, wait, what? I had to go back and like replay.
He did beat one of his records, yes.
The main eventing WrestleMania.
No, but didn't Hogan have two lengthy reigns where there was like the 900 something day one that Roman passed, and then he had a second one that's like the big one.
The big one was someone that they're trying to beat.
And again, stupid. You know,
because right now he's number 4 on number 4, number 5.
Number 4.
Number 1 is
Bruno.
Nobody's beating that one. Number 2 is Bob Backlund. 3 is Hogan. 4 is Roman.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to like kind of just surpass him, kind of because of what happened with Hogan and all that stuff.
I don't know. Again, if the goal was for Roman to beat Hogan, this was the worst possible way to do it. This makes zero sense.
They put themselves in the corner with everything.
Yeah.
Like, again, if that was the goal, was to beat Hogan's record, this is not the corner you wanted to go into.
No, you literally could have had. There were 2 other people that you could have had win the match. You literally could have just had, and again, you do all this to say, oh, Cody's one of 4 people that won the Royal Rumble twice.
Again, you could have had him win it next year or the year after that, whatever.
No, because it had to be back to back.
Oh, that's right. Oh, back to back.
It had to be back to back. But again, all that. What is the record if you now not been successful? Like you're a glorified Baron Corbin.
Twice.
Yeah, you're a glorified Baron Corbin at this point. So what's the point? That's my problem. But I'm done with my rant. I'm tired. I'm done with my rant. So you're not going to get a 3-hour one tonight from me.
You got Cody. I got Roman. I mean, it's crazy, but that's the one I think is like it's gonna be, and I think nobody's gonna like it.
Yeah, I think either way, no matter what happens, it's not going to be a satisfying one.
No, I can see swerves happening galore on this one though.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, we got it under the gun. WrestleMania officially starts in about a day, so we got it the day before going in, and also all of our predictions subject to change because SmackDown could throw another swerve at us. Who knows? But
Any last words?
Nope. I won't be seeing Saturday Night Live, so I'll have to watch it back. Hopefully, I get to catch Sunday, and we'll see what happens.
I'm waiting for the swerves, and I can't wait for the entrances.
The entrances is probably going to be the best part for me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my son's like, I don't want to watch wrestling. And I'm like, dude, you have to understand. If you don't want to watch it, that's fine, but at least watch the entrances because they're like,
yep.
At least. So, we'll see. I'm having family and friends come over. We're going to watch it and enjoy it here at the house.
I'm going to be out on the town, so I won't even be home.
Sunday, I'm going to my in-laws' house, and we're going to watch it over there.
Sunday, I'll be home to watch it. Sunday, I'll definitely be home to watch.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
All right. Everybody, enjoy the weekend. Enjoy WrestleMania weekend. Have a good night.
All right, I gotta go because I gotta go to the bathroom in like the worst way. Oh my
All right, brother.
brother. I see you, man.
Later.